Good afternoon and welcome to the Dublin Senior Football Championship Final between Erins of the north side and Ballyboden St Endas on the south side. Well, now we're joined here in a new Parnell Park, and it's beautiful looking. As you can see, there's a new stand set up here, and I'm joined by John Bailey, Chairman of the Dublin County Board. John, things have seemed to fall into place in this park.
Yeah, it's a great day for Dublin, it's a great day for the people of Dublin, and we're very grateful to all the clubs and to the people of Dublin for their generosity to make this day happen. It's not the official opening, as you see, there's still a little bit of work to do. It's about 6 weeks completion, but it's very important today that we play our county final here, and particularly important for us to recognise the Kilmacud Crokes, the All-Ireland Club Champions, so the reigning club champions here in Dublin, and Vincent, who are part and parcel of the tradition of Dublin in the opening game here. So it's a great day for Dublin.
It's a great day for Dublin. A lot of people have asked me, and I've talked to a lot of people, they say to me, why do spend so much money on Croke Park and still at the same time do Parnell Park Cup?
But it's very important for Dublin to have its own home. We want to have our own games in our own ground so we can bring our own people to watch our games, particularly for the school children and the school boys. We'll be playing all our schools and colleges games here at Parnell Park. It'll be our home for all the schools and colleges for the future.
The stadium that we're looking at is just across there, and the seat of the stadium. How many would that roughly hold?
The stand now holds 3,126 people. And it's hoping in the near future we have planning permission in for the terrace at the far end for another 3,000. When we get full planning permission, we hope to have in excess of 10,000 people here.
And that should cover any good big league match?
Any game is in National League or otherwise we can play here in Parnell Park, there's no problem.
Well, the work you've done it fairly well. I remember talking to John Costello 12 months ago, and you're just turning the sod that time. Now we're playing our county final in it. Well, I'd just like a quick word with you, John. You know Erins very well. They played here the last 3 years. And you know, of course, we all heard of Ballyboden, St Endas. What team would you fancy? Quick word.
Well, I think both teams here today, it's going to be a tremendous final. It's going to be a very, very close game. Depends on whether Brian Steins is fit enough to play in the game. Erins and Mr. Charlie Redmond. This is going to be a great, I think, hopefully a classic game of football. It's very close. I'm not going to call it.
When will we see the official opening?
The official opening will be here in January, hopefully, please God.
Well, I hope to see you then, John. Thank you very much, John Bailey. Down, coach with the Erins team. Mick, you're just after leaving the dressing room because I'm after dragging you out of there. How's the team coping with this big occasion? 3 county finals in a row.
Well, we're in good form. Third county final is no different to the first. You still have to go out and win it. We're hopeful, but we're up against a very, very good Ballyboden team.
Now, people doesn't know that much about the Ballyboden team, but I was talking to some experts during the week, and they told me any team that reaches the county final is a good team.
Any team that reaches a county final has to be respected. We know that only too well. We had beaten Kilmacud 2 years ago, came back, we were beaten in the final last year, and we're certainly not underestimating the challenge of Ballyboden.
Was this a worry trying to get over this saga you had with Kilmacud in the semi-final?
Well, we've had a tremendous rivalry with Kilmacud. They have been the top team in Dublin for the last number of years. We are now trying to be the top team in Dublin. Our rivalry, I would say, has been an extremely friendly rivalry.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think Twoomey might be joining us in the commentary box, giving his analysis as he sees the game going by. The thing really is the talking point at the moment. How big of a loss is Charlie Redmond?
Well, we have been prepared for the loss of Charlie. We have known since virtually the All-Ireland final that he wouldn't be available to us for the remainder of the championship campaign, and we have prepared accordingly. Now, obviously, a player of Charlie's experience is going to be a big loss to us on a county final day, but you know, we feel we just have to overcome that loss.
So the main pattern of the game will be not to give away too many frees.
Well, we'll be hoping not to give away frees. We certainly have utmost confidence in our other 2 free takers, Kieran O'Hare and Keith Barr, that they'll do the business for us if we get frees.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Erins, Paddy Canning. Paddy, it must be very hard for you. You were in 2 county finals. You're the manager. You're up and down there running like hell. It must be very hard for you to take a back seat.
Ah, yeah, there's a different perspective on today's game. You know, when you're involved, you live and eat and drink the game. I'd be still involved, but it wouldn't be the same as it was when you're actively or involved with the team itself.
Yeah, as I asked earlier, I was asking somebody, well, what do you know about this Ballyboden St Endas team?
Well, in actual fact, we've played them very little in the last 2 or 3 years. they're a big, strong side, very strong up the middle. We played them in a league game earlier on, just after Christmas, and we came out on top by 2 points. But I wouldn't put much of an emphasis on that game. That was league football early in the season, and today will be a lot different. Both teams are fully fit, and championship football is totally different.
Now, you've been beaten last year by a team that after you played 2 matches and an extra time in the second match, you were beaten by a team that went on to win the All-Ireland. So this must give you confidence that you are a very good team.
Yeah, when we play well, we're as good as there is around. As it showed in the last 2 years, the first year we beat Kilmacud after a replay. Last year they beat us by a point in extra time in a replay, and they went on to win the All-Ireland title. So, I mean, we know we're thereabouts. When we play on the day, we're as good as there is around. But a county final is all about producing it on the day, and you cannot say beforehand how a county final will go. If you play well, you do well, and if you don't play up to standard, you lose it.
Well, Paddy, I let you go. We're sorry to see you apart from the scene, but I know you will, knowing that you love your football, you'll be involved there somewhere. At that stage, I would like to also say that another manager went out this week, and that's Tommy Lyons, manager of the Kilmacud side, and we wish Tommy all the best also. Paddy Canning, thank you very much.
Thanks,
I'm joined here now by John Costello, Secretary of the Dublin County Board. John, it's a great day for Parnell Park and you Parnell Park. I talked to John Bailey earlier. You must be delighted the way things turned out.
It's a very proud day for all associated with Dublin GAA. For years we've had very basic facilities here, and with the guidance of our current chairman and the present management committee, we decided to totally redevelop the ground here, and what you see today is probably a ground of status and standards which is only in keeping with a county like Dublin, which is a leading role in the GAA.
Let's get into the football, John. There's always Kilmacud Crokes, Erins Isle. That's gone. We have two more teams here today. This is better, really, for football.
It's nice to see new teams coming along. Ballyboden have already won the Senior Football League this year. They've won the AIB and the Vincent Paul trophies in the last couple of years. They're a very young team. They're an excellent club, great facilities, great records in coaching with schools and whatever. And it's great to see teams progressing through the ranks and to contest the senior final here today.
OK, John, it's going to be another tough match, I'd say, down to the wire. You know your football as good as anyone.
You're not going to get a prediction from me.
Definitely not. I wouldn't ask you for one.
No, but I just hope that it's a good game, full of the skills of Gaelic football, and the best team wins today.
Thank you, John Costello. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, it's time for me as the band is playing behind me, the Artane Boys band. It's time for me to hand you over to the big match commentator, and the big match commentator for today, as usual, is Tommy Tighe.
Newly refurbished Parnell Park here in Dublin for the Dublin Senior Football Championship Final between Ballyboden St Endas, who have just come out on the field dressed in their blue and white vertical stripes, and they will be doing battle today with the men from Findlas, Erins Isle. The Erins Isle team has yet to make their appearance out on the field, but they will do so in a little while from now, dressed in their green and black. Of course, Erins Isle today without one of the household names of Dublin football, and that is Charlie Redmond. Charlie having what might be described as some as a footballing holiday, but I'm sure he would rather be without that holiday and be participating in today's county final. Ballyboden, they have never passed the quarter-final stages of a Dublin final. Now, in 1995, they are competing in the final. The big prize, the cup, is over here to our left, and nestled beside a trophy that was domiciled in Ulster for quite some time, but well, Dublin people might say has been rescued, and it is now the proud possession of the Dublin senior football team. I refer to Sam Og Maguire. Over on the far side, the Artane Boys band entertain the crowd in one of the new stands. Shall we describe it as the smaller one of the two? But where we are located in the bigger stand, it's, well, fantastic facilities. Of course, earlier on, Tommy Gohan was talking to Dublin County Board Chairman John Bailey, amongst others. He also talked to County Secretary John Costello, and well, they seem well pleased with what has been already put in place here in Parnell Park. As you can see, the construction men are still around, and well, it will certainly be a fine place when the job is completed. Beside me, I've got a man who I'm sure would love to have a greater input or part in this county final day. That is Dom Twoomey of Kilmacud-Crokes. And Dom, I'm sure disappointment is the only thing that can be on your mind, that you're not taking part in this final.
Well, of course, Tommy, disappointment is a factor, but having said that, you know, we've had our day. Erins and Ballyboden have earned their way to the final today, and it's their day. Kilmacud have had the last few years to think about. We're still All-Ireland champions until the end of March, and maybe one of these two teams today, I see Erins coming out on the pitch now, but maybe one of them will go the whole way and emulate us. If they can do that, that'll certainly compensate for our disappointments of 2 weeks ago.
Thank you, Dom. We'll be having a word with you a little later on through the game. The Erins team, as Dom Twoomey has said, have just come out onto the field. They're limbering up and they've moved up towards the goal on our left. Moving in now to line up in front of the photographers. Photographers have lined up both teams not facing us, but I suppose one can't have it everywhere. Tossed, and Ken Pratt made his way back towards the huddle of the Erins team to our left. The Ballyboden St Endas captain Ben Malloy going back down to round up his troops into a huddle there as well. And while they're in the huddle, I'll have a word with Dom Twoomey here. And Dom, you'll give us a run through on how these teams made it to the final.
Right, well, just checking out there, Tommy, and it seems that both teams have certainly fought their way to this final. If you look from the Ballyboden point of view, it seems a long time ago now, it's about 6 months or more, that they beat Civil Service in a very, very tight game from 11 points to 9. In the next round then, they meet Round Towers, and I was at that game myself, and certainly they won it by 110 to 6 points, but they fought every minute of the way to win that particular game. Then their next game against St Mark's, I suppose they were in shooting form. They scored 3-13 to 2-5. I was lucky enough also to see the St Vincent's game, 1-8 to 9 points. Ballyboden came out on top. And I thought a very significant point in that game was that at the end of the game, Steins was injured about 15 minutes to go or so, and Ballyboden showed the battle, kicked a few great points, and that was a sign of a good team. That Gay Cuddy sent off earlier than that, and they showed great fighting qualities against a traditionally very good Dublin club team in Dublin in Vincent's. Whereas Erins Isle, the old stagers, Erins Isle well used to have the championship run up in the last few years. In the first round, they played against Skillyconnell. The score was 4-5 to 11 points. Comfortable enough win. However, the next game they fought all the way to win by 9 to 10 points against St Anne's. And a lot of people in Dublin perhaps would say they were rather lucky to beat Fingallians. I think the final score there was 2-10 to 2-9. So it was a very, very tough game, and certainly Fingallians people were very disappointed with the way that game went. As you well know then, Kilmacud, they beat us 8 points to 6. That game went to the final 5 minutes. With 5 minutes to go, Kilmacud were winning by a point. And Robbie Boyle kicked over, or fisted over the crucial point. And then Johnny Barr scored that great point from out under the Hogan stand from about 40 yards out. And that's their passage through to the final. So both teams have good pedigree. Either of the teams that win will be able to say we won it the hard way.
Thank you, Dom. And as the teams go on the pre-match parade behind the Artane Boys band, we'll give you just a last-minute check and head the line out. The Erins Isle team with Tom Quinn in goal, Ken Spratt, John Joe O'Keefe and Keith Murray the full-back line, Mick Deegan, Porge Cunningham and Tony Gorman the half-line, Eddie Barr and Keith Barr in midfield, Terry Russell, Johnny Barr and Seamus McCormick are the half-forwards, Caden O'Hare, Robbie Boyle and Albert Barton the full-forward line. The Ballyboden St Endas have Ger Flaherty in goal, a full-back line of David Nocton, Ben Malloy and Gary Collarden, a half-line of Brendan Young, Philip Wardick and Tony Duffy, midfield of Brian Steins and Ken Murray, the half-forwards of Tom Prendergast, Paul Curran and Michael Gardner, and the full-forward line of Damien Bulger, Liam Callan and Stephen O'Shaughnessy. And lest I should forget, during the course of the game, a well-known Ballintubber man by the name of Joe O'Connor, who is illegally earning a few pound around Cavan town, has told me that Tony Duffy and Tom Prendergast, two of the Ballyboden St Endas men, actually come from Ballintubber. Making their way round on the far side. Very soon, I'm sure the teams will break away. Today's referee is Jim Roach from Whitehall Columkill Club. That, of course, being the club of Dublin County players of the calibre of Paddy Morden and Paul Clark. Coming in is Johnny Wilson. And for those of you who know him, there is no need to say anything. For those of you who don't, he's a man who won an All-Ireland medal with Cavan in the Polo Grounds in 1947. Since then, he has been very well known as a Doyle deputy. Now the teams have made the breakaway. Ballyboden goalkeeper and defenders going down to defend the goal on our right as we look at it in the first half. So it's just seconds away from the commencement of the 1995 Dublin Senior Football Championship Final. I can tell you that Paul Curran is going to line up in midfield and that Brian Steins is lining up at centre half forward on the Ballyboden St Endas team. So Paul Curran and Ken Murray line up in midfield. I see Johnny Barr lining up in midfield as well alongside brother Keith, and Eddie Barr is moving in to play at centre half forward. So it will be very interesting, and we hope, as well as being interesting, that it will be very exciting. One man who knows all about Dublin football has just taken a seat in the stand beneath us there. We may have a closer look at him a little later on, and that's the one, the great, Cavan Heffernan. Of course, amongst the dignitaries here today is the Taoiseach, Bertie Ahern. Was talking to him a little earlier on. Also to the Secretary General of the GAA, Liam Mulvihill, and we're hoping to have a word with him as well. Up at right half forward, and Seamus McCormick on the 40 for Erins Isle, and the Dublin Senior Final of 95 is on as Johnny Barr sends the ball way down to the middle. Coming out there to pick it up is captain and fullback Ben Malloy, who plays it out onto the right, and David Napton has his effort blocked down. He's back in his own 45-metre line. The referee comes to his rescue. There's a free out to Ballyboden St Endas. Philip Wardick is going across to take it. So the tall centre back kicking it right-footed and high. Brian Steins looks up. Ball breaking down where Keith Barr gets it, and Keith now from his own 45-metre line jabs the ball out where Tony Gorman will chase after it. Tony Gorman eluding the challenge of Brendan Young, getting it down the wing, but going back there. And Ballyboden now coming away with the ball as Tony Duffy gets the ball out to Philip Wardick. Philip being chased by Seamus McCormick as his captain inside. Mick Deegan intercepts, and Mick Deegan tackled by Brian Steins. Mick sends the free right down towards Robbie Boyle. Well held by Robbie Boyle. Plays it back to Terry Russell. Terry Russell looks to see who's available, and Robbie Boyle making his way in. Ken Murray was in with the challenge. Terry Russell jabs the ball down, and Keith Barr way down in the left corner position, picking it up. Keith sending it across to Robbie Boyle. Is this the chance for the opener? Robbie Boyle's shot has gone wide, and they're coming after a minute and a half of play in the first half. Damn, that was a scoring chance.
Well, from early stage you can see that Robbie Boyle is certainly tuned in, and it certainly was a scoring chance, but it's early days yet. It takes teams a while to settle into the game. But Robbie Boyle from the first go, now he's after having 2 touches of the ball already, he certainly looks fired up today.
Ger Flaherty will take the kick out. The crowd still filing in here to Parnell Park as Flaherty's kick comes up towards the middle of the field. Fielded well there by big Ken Murray, who sent it upfield. Ken Pratt will have to chase back. John Joe O'Keefe has spun around, and there's a free out to Erins Isle. John Joe, one of the smaller fullbacks in the football scene, but my experience of him over the past few years, he's a very effective one. Here comes Mick Deegan's free. It's jabbed away there by Gary Colleran, and that's Michael Gardner now for Ballyboden, laying it out to Tony Duffy. And Tony Duffy now playing it across in towards the middle. That's Paul Kern, and Paul Kern getting up to Brian Steins. Steins with the free from just outside the 45-metre line. There's just over 3 minutes played in the first half. We await the first score. Almost silence from the crowd as Brian Steins prepares to take the kick. Floats it in high to the left and wide. And so after 3.5 minutes of play in the first half, both teams have registered a wide. Mugser in possession, getting it down now to Keith Barr. Keith about to be challenged by Ken Murray, and Keith's being chased out there now as he from the 65-metre into Robbie Boyd, tapping it inside towards Albert Martin. Martin sends in the shot. It's the first score of the game. 4 minutes played. It comes from Albert Martin. Damn.
Well, that's the third touch of the game now for Robbie Boyd. As I say, he seems to be the one man there in tune, and certainly we rate him very highly in Kilmacud, and himself and Kieran O'Hare inside would be danger men today, and if Ballyboden don't get on to them from the early stage, it could be looking serious for them. Having said that, Philip Wardick there and a few of the Ballyboden cornerback, Gary Colleran, come out there in a few good balls. So it's, as I say, early days yet.
Gerald Flaherty's kick. Brian Stan jumping but not holding, but there was a foul out there. Not from there, Brian, says the ref, so Philip Wardick will take it from just inside the halfway line, between the halfway and the 65-metre line, and Philip's kick dropping in towards the danger zone is broken down, and Mick Deegan is there for it. Mick jabbing it out to Eddie Barr, who's gone back to help his defence. Eddie Barr supported by Mick Deegan, and Mick selling a dummy or two. Then with a crossfield ball played out to Seamus McCormick. McCormick bringing it down. He used to play a cornerback. Now up in the attack. Brian Steins is on the ground in possession. A free to Ballyboden St Endas. This one to be taken from just outside the 45-metre line to the right of the goal on our left. Tom Prendergast will take it. Tom, the nephew of great Mayo footballers Paddy and Ray, as the ball drops in. Tom Quinn brings it down at the expense of a 45. There is a swirling wind, and we will be fit to pick up the flags during the course of the game, but looking at the flags along the sideline and the flags at the goalposts, they seem to blow in opposite directions. So it's a very tricky wind, certainly difficult with balls dropping in around the goal area. So Tom Prendergast with the 45. It was his free that brought it about. This one going down out over the end line, going wide, and it remains 1 point to Erins Isle, no score to Ballyboden St Endas, and just over 6.5 minutes played in the first half. Down towards the middle, where it's knocked away from Terry Russell, but picked up by Eddie Barr, linked down there to Johnny, and Johnny with the long left-footed drive way down. Robbie Boyle goes out near the sideline on the 20-metre line, approaching the 13, inside the 13-metre line, being tackled all the way, and a shot across field that's deflected. Oh, that's well held in by Albert Martin. He's near the end line, he's out over the end line in possession, and the outstretched arms of the umpire indicating that it has gone wide. Damn. That was close.
Yeah, that was very close, and it was a very quick move. A great ball in there by Johnny Barr, and again the pass from Robbie Boyle into Albert Martin. Albert got in behind, and I think that Ballyboden were a little fortunate on that occasion. That ball could have finished in the back of the net.
So Jeff Flaherty will take the kick out. Out across the 45 where it's knocked down, and Pudge Cunningham is back there for Erins Isle. Pudge with a high lobbing, dropping ball into the 20-metre line, knocked into space. Keith Barr and Robbie Boyle combine, and it's Robbie Boyle jabbing the ball across to Kieran O'Hare. He likes to get the left foot behind it. This time it's with the right, and it's successful from Kieran O'Hare.
Again, a very good point. As I mentioned earlier on, that the two inside men, Robbie Boyle and Kieran O'Hare, could be crucial here today in the decision in this, and Gary Colleran and Ben Malloy will certainly have their work cut out. If they can come out on top now and begin to close in on their men, certainly out in the middle of the pitch, Ballyboden are thereabouts. I've noticed that Brian Steins, his shoulder is being tested out a few times by Erins Isle. So very, very important for Ballyboden now to get back after this and to get the first score on the board.
So Ger Flaherty with the kick out. The big man Ken Murray brings it down there now to Michael Gardner, laying it on right to the middle, trying to find Liam Callan. The ball is knocked away. It comes back out to Johnny Barr. Johnny Barr feeding it on to Mick Deegan. Mick Deegan further down now towards Kieran O'Hare, but it's booted up the field there by Gary Colleran, who seemed to be nudged. Ken Murray picked up an injury, will need some attention. The game will resume with a free to Ballyboden. Philip Wardick is the one who's going to take the free from 65 metres out from his own end line. I haven't stopped the watch, but the referee had stopped his. He restarts it. That was a little with half a minute, I would say. He will be adding on some time at the end of the half as the ball is dropped up, knocked out into space. Brian Steins to pick it up for Ballyboden, lays it back now there to Stephen O'Shaughnessy. Outfield now to Tony Duffy. Tony Duffy playing it out into space for Brian Steins to run onto, and Brian Steins with a kick from out the field that curls across towards the far side of the parallelogram. Fielded back in there by Johnny Barr on his own end line. So Tom Quinn now retrieving the ball, going to take the free out for Erins Isle. 10.5 minutes played in the first half as Ken Murray fields it for Ballyboden and drives a long ball way in there. John Joe O'Keefe is chasing after Liam Callan, and the big man from Ballyboden turns, shoots and scores. A good score there from Liam Callan.
That's a fabulous score by Liam Callan. I was just thinking myself there, Tommy, for a while that he does look very physically strong in there, and the tussle between him and G.H. O'Keefe could be a very interesting one today. Certainly the ball before that he was threatening as well. That's a fabulous score, and Ballyboden needed that to get into the game.
I can tell you that Ken Murray is still trouble from that left knee and was calling to the dugout for some type of support or stopping as Philip Wardick not holding on to it, and Johnny Barr alert to it out there for Erins Isle. Pudge Cunningham calls in the centre, and Pudge Cunningham feeds it down now to Keith Barr. Keith Barr crossing the halfway line, and a long ball in towards Robbie Boyle. Well played into space by Robbie Boyle, laying it back out to Terry Russell. And Terry, his first touch, letting him down with then swinging a ball in that Ger Flaherty. No difficulty for Ger. Feeds it out to Philip Wardick on the far side. Tony Gorman out there to challenge it. The ball is played up towards Damien Bolger. The ball now coming to Tom Prendergast, and Tom Prendergast way upfield. It's broken down now to Johnny Barr, roving all over the place, supported there now by Keith. Terry Russell it was who was supporting him there. There's a Ballyboden player down injured, in need of attention. The injuries that the St Endas have picked up here in the early stages of the game. Just over 12 minutes of actual play, but there's well almost 14 gone since the throw-in. Michael Gardner's knee now being stepped up there. In fact, it was David Nocton. David Nocton's knee, who was being stepped up. He had moved way upfield. I had just saw the two on the back and more or less took it for granted. That's Michael Gardner now in possession and feeding it out to Tony Duffy, and Tony Duffy sending the ball upfield. There's a great ball into Ken Murray, calling for it inside as Liam. Oh, he screwed it out to the left and wide. Damn, that was a miss.
That was a miss for sure. And just when you were mentioned there, Michael Gardner, I was thinking to myself that it's about time now he started getting in a little bit more into the game. Earlier in the game against Vincent's, he scored a goal after about in the first 10 minutes or so, and certainly he can up his game. Like Mick Deegan is beginning to get into the game a little bit for Erins Isle.
So out it comes. Outfield, Tony Gorman picking it up there now for Erins Isle and winning the free on his own 65-metre line. Podge Cunningham will take it, and a long high ball down towards Kieran O'Hare, knocks it into space, picked up by Tony Duffy of Ballyboden St Endas, sent right through the middle for Podge Cunningham. It's knocked away, it'll break for Brian Steins. Ken Spratt is in there to challenge, and Brian Steins sends the ball across again towards Liam Callan. The big full forward roving out, taking the shot, and this time to the right and going wide. So it's 2 points to 1.
Of the new pavilion. The parents are Garden of Sarah Griffin.
A couple of chances there that might well have put the Ballyboden St Endas men on a parity, if not in front. Those chances going a begging, and that ball slipping through there where Tony Duffy picks it up and Tony feeds it out onto the right, and that's Paul Curran who will lob the ball inside. Tom Quinn will come out and Tom Quinn grabs it. Gets it out now to Podge Cunningham. Certainly Ballyboden finding their way through the Erins Isle defence. Oh, that ball is well fetched, and Albert Martin playing it in there now to Keith Barr. Keith Barr, his pass goes astray, and it was Brendan Young who picked it up. And now Philip Wardick out there on the sideline. Way up again towards Liam Callan. Callan sends it across in there now. And a shot from Damien Bolger. From out the field, from Damien Bolger, they're level at 2 points apiece now.
Again, focusing on it, Tommy, it's interesting to see the two number 14s on the field, and certainly they to me seem to be the key players at the moment. There's Liam Callan again, great possession out there in the wing. He's kicked a great point, he made that point, he kicked two wides, he's certainly getting involved, and there could be very interesting tussle down there between him and J.J. O'Keefe. At the other end of the field too, as I say, Robbie Boyle, when the ball has gone up to there in the early stages, looking very threatening.
So now Tony Duffy chasing back for Ballyboden. They've got back on level terms with the Erins Isle. The referee Jim Roach is coming across. A word in passing there to Eddie Barr, and Eddie pleading his innocence. It's knocked down where Eddie Barr lays it off now to Mick Deegan for Erins Isle, right down through the middle, and Kieran O'Hare tussling for it there. It's picked up neatly by Big Ken Murray, and there's the collision. The name of Terry Russell about to go into the book of referee Jim Roach. A free to Ballyboden St Endas. Tony Duffy seems okay. Philip Wardick will take the kick, but Ben Malloy seems to have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, and also to remark, Tommy, Robbie Boyle has now been picked up by Gary Colleran, and maybe that'll be a significant part of the game as well. And we'll see if Ben Malloy, now that he's picked up Kieran O'Hare on the other side of the field. So let's see how that works out.
As Ballyboden come onto the attack once more. And a shot from Tom Prendergast that goes to the left and goes wide. So Ballyboden with 5 wides, Erins Isle with 1, and about 17 minutes played in the first half. Tom Quinn's kick out towards the middle. Brian Steins gets it and sends it back there now to Paul Curran. Nice interception by Keith Murray, and Muggs are approaching the 45. Send it way down towards Kieran O'Hare. O'Hare coming out in front of Ben Malloy and winning possession. Jabbing it down to Robbie Boyle. Gary Collarden is across there, but Robbie being dispossessed and the ball booted out over the sideline. Referee going across there. A free for the foul on Robbie Boyle. Keith Barr is the one who's going to take it. These are the type of frees that Erins Isle will miss Charlie Redmond for. Robbie Boyle tried to flick it on. Ben Malloy. Out it comes towards the middle of the field. Ken Spratt went across. Tony Gorman goes in there to pick it up. And Gorman to feed it way down the field. It's bounced inside, and Philip Wardick gets it out to Brian Stein supported by Paul Curran. And Curran didn't lob it up again towards Liam Callan. Did JJ O'Keefe get a touch? And now JJ. Down to Kieran O'Hare, down there in front of us. Brian Stein's going in to challenge him. Kieran O'Hare still going, looking around. 2 Ballyboden men on him. He's nudged out of play, and Ben Malloy plays the ball across to Gary Collarden, gets it out to Ken Murray, and the big midfielder now from deep in his own half labs it up, where all alone is Podge Cunningham, supported by Tony Gorman. Again, it's the short ball there now to Podge, who lobs it down towards Robbie Boyle. Great fielding by Robbie Boyle, but he parts company with it, and Gary Collarden gets it up to Michael Gardner. Michael Gardner now up the line. It goes to corner forward Stephen O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy looks to see who's available, and Tony Duffy was, and he links up with Brian Steins, and that's good work back in there by JJ O'Keefe. The referee calling, having a quick word there with Liam Callan, and the free being moved forward. Keith sends it across. Tony Gorman picks it up. He's held. McDeegan will take this free, I think. It's even Stevens at 2 points apiece with just over 20 minutes played, and a low-scoring final as Kieran O'Hare works his way in. He's supported there now as Eddie Barr gets the ball into Keith, and Keith with the shot that curls to the left and goes wide, and it remains 2 points apiece. I'll bring in Dom again.
Yeah, and Kieran O'Hare, and Robbie Boyle are getting a lot of possession, but now Ballyboden are managing to close them down. They're playing very well in the defence at the moment, and I was just thinking Erins Isle haven't scored now for at least 10 minutes. So Ballyboden are beginning to get the bit between their teeth defensively.
John Kiernan has gone into the game, and Ben Malloy is injured and going off. So Ben Malloy gone off injured, and John Kiernan in playing at left cornerback. Of course, Gary Collarden had switched early on in the game to fullback. Philip Wardick sends the ball way up there. There's a foul on Damien Bolger. The free is taken quickly and sent up to Tom Prendergast up along the line. Eddie Barr nudges him out over the sideline. Line ball to Erins Isle, just outside the 20-metre line, and Keith Murray will take it. Across in towards the middle, and the referee has called up the play. Ken Murray will take the free for Ballyboden St Endas, lobbing it in. JJ O'Keefe comes out to it, And JJ now trying to solo his way out past Michael Gardner and then sending the ball down towards Kieran O'Hare. O'Hare taking it beautifully there. John Kiernan chases after him. O'Hare playing the ball in ahead of himself. Ken Murray goes back. John Kiernan is there. It's knocked away where Albert Martin tries to pick it up, but the referee is calling for it, going to throw it up between them, I think.
That was a great passage of play, and O'Keefe now is responding back there, full back. That was a great ball there he won in front of Liam Callan. Again, getting the ball up to O'Hare, but the Ballyboden defence are hanging in there. They're hanging in, getting in the tackles and that. And if Kieran O'Hare got away there was certainly possibly even a goal scoring chance on. So the game is beginning to warm up a bit now, Tommy.
Just over 22 minutes of play in this first half, though about 25.5 minutes have elapsed since the game commenced, but there has been a series of injuries. Right now, a player from either side is being attended to, but it's tough and it's tight, but one gets the feeling it's going to be a low-scoring final. So the referee getting ready to throw the ball up between them. In it goes, and it's well held by Johnny Barr. A free to Erins Isle. This one to the right of the goal on our right. Now, I know that Kieran O'Hare is a left-footed free taker, and a good angle this is for a left-footed kicker. He's the one who's going to take it. Johnny Barr okay. As Kieran O'Hare prepares to take this free just outside the 20-metre line and swings it away across the face of the goal and wide. It remains 2 points apiece. Damn, if wides were scores in this game, well, there'd be quite a tally now.
Well, I'm just trying to check the tally. I think that's about the third wide that Erins Isle had. That earlier there, Keith Barr kicked one, and then Kieran O'Hare. That was a very bad miss. Ballyboden have 5 wides, I think, up to date, and the score, as you know, 2 points all. So low scoring, but that's the way finals are. If you remember last year at half time, ourselves and Erins Isle was 3 points all or something like that, I think.
Jeff Flaherty's kick. And now it's Ballyboden St Endas with Liam Callan, who seems to have moved out up to Stephen O'Shaughnessy. Ken Pratt is back there, a challenge and foul, and there's a free to Ballyboden St Endas. We wait and see who their right-footed free kicker is, and it's the man who was fouled, Stephen O'Shaughnessy, who's going to take it. Ballyboden lead by 3 points to 2. A well-struck free down, and great to see players reverting back to taking them from the ground.
Oh, well, that's for sure, and that was a great point there. He stuck it between the posts, the pressure was on him, and I was thinking that maybe coming up to half-time, there does seem to be a little bit of a breeze pouring down to the left there, and Ballyboden may need the scores before half-time. I was out there in the earlier game today, and I thought there was a bit of a breeze playing down to the goal to our left, so they maybe need a few scores before half-time.
So Tony Duffy gets the ball across to Stephen O'Shaughnessy, who will boot it out over the sideline up here to our left. Certainly Liam Callan has been brought out towards the midfield area. That's Eddie Barr, laid it back to Mick Deegan, who plays it into Terry Russell. Liam Callan chases after him as it's played out to the wing to Mick Deegan. Deegan to jab it in now to Robbie Boyle. Oh, shielded it well and tucked it well. Being chased all the way as he taps it inside. Well held in there by Keith Barr, trying to burrow his way through. A free from the 13-metre line. Kieran O'Hare will take it, and with about 26 minutes played in the first half, I think this should square it up. It does.
You can put that point down to experience. Keith Barr there got the ball, he was surrounded, and he played for the free and got it. And the old experienced head, and there's a good score there for Erins Isle.
So Michael Gardner has gone in to play on J.J. O'Keefe, and Liam Callan is out around the middle of the field as Ger Flaherty's kick will come out to a very crowded midfield. And that's well picked up by Eddie Barr. Tony Gorman chasing after it. Tony Gorman tapping it down inside for Keith Barr to chase on to. Brian Skynes getting a nudge to it, and John Kiernan trying to keep it in play. That seemed to go off Kieran O'Hare's boot out over the end line. Will be a kick out to Ballyboden St Endas.
I'm not too sure I'd be totally happy with the switch there of Liam Callan out. Like, it'd be interesting to see how Michael Gardner, he wasn't quite in the game yet, but certainly Liam Callan was looking dangerous in around the square. Now the supply had stopped all right, but he still looked dangerous, maybe out the field. Erins I'll be happier to see him further away from the goals.
Jeff Flaherty's kick will drop out there, and that's Terry Russell who wins possession and wins a free. Ballyboden not moving away fast enough, so the 13-metre advantage being brought into ploy there by the referee, and from a few metres inside the 45, Keith Barr will take the kick. A hint of sunshine coming through the broken cloud momentarily may alter the quality of your picture. Keith Barr lobbing the ball in, and Seamus McCormick picking it up. Robbie Boyle calling for it. He wants everything. And as Dom Twoomey said, he's so fired up. Seamus McCormick across to Terry Russell. Terry Russell with a shot. Terry Russell with a point. It's 4 points to 3. Erins Isle go in front.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Keith Barr, the old experience again, is beginning to get into situation, beginning to make it happen. Terry Russell getting into the game a little bit there, and certainly that was the best score of the match so far. Again, made by Robbie Boyle. He laid on the pass that made the point.
Ger Flaherty's kick out, which will soon be on its way. Referee just making some gesture towards him there. Out it comes, and that's Keith Barr who will pull on it, roll it on neatly there now to Seamus McCormick, back to Johnny Barr. Johnny Barr with a shot from out the field that's sailing between the uprights. It's 5 points to Erins Isle. It's 3 to Ballyboden St Endas.
Yeah, the game has certainly now gone up a gear, and this is where the game can be won or lost. The big names now with Erins Isle, Johnny Barr after kicking a great point, Keith, and others are beginning to get into the game, and this is where finals are won and lost.
So getting close to that halfway stage. It all depends on referee Jim Roach as to what time may be allowed. Jumping there in the middle of the field, and it's Paul Curran who gets a free for Ballyboden St Endas, and Philip Wardick will take the free, lobbing it in. Tom Quinn will be content to let that one roll out of play, out over the end line, and it has gone wide. We await Tom Quinn's kick out. There goes the half-time whistle, and so at half-time here in Parnell Park, it's 5 points to 3. With something with 20 minutes played, it looked like being a low-scoring affair, but since then, well, the players, they didn't hear us, but they certainly responded, and 5 points to 3, it's respectable enough at half-time down.
Yeah, it was slow to take over, and the last 10 minutes there, the experience of Erins Isle began to come into it, and Ballyboden were beginning to, like that last attack there was a good example. Paul Curran won a very good ball there around the middle of the field, let it in, and there was no support inside for him. The ball just went harmlessly wide. Ballyboden certainly have very big players, and they're getting stuck in, but they do the crucial things. You know, I've just looked there too before half-time, and I saw Brian Steins in the full forward position, and I saw that O'Keefe had followed Liam Callan out to the centre half forward position, centre back position. So I'd say Ballyboden, to get the shape of their team together now, they're doing very well competing for the ball, they're winning plenty of ball, but they're not getting the ball into scoring positions, and I'd be worried at half time from their point of view. As I said, I think there's a hint of play generally going down to the left hand post there in front of us, so there may be a favour as well for that from Erins point of view in the second half. But Ballyboden have come a long way. They've come from they've had to dig deep many's a game as they got to the way to the final. From their point of view now, they're big players. Stein's obviously carrying a bit of an injury, but himself, Malloy, as you saw, was injured. But Philip Wardick and Ken Murray, Paul Curran, Mick Gardner, Liam Callan now, they have to step up their game. Erins, to me, they're beginning to step up their game. They're beginning to get the game by the scruff of the neck. They're going for it now, and Ballyboden have to respond, and they have to respond early in the second half. 5 points to 3 is very close, but if they don't get in there now in the next 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of the second half, things are beginning to look a little bit bleak for them, as I say, even though a 2-point lead at half time. So it's up to them to get their act together at the start of the second half.
Erins certainly responded to the point that put them one behind. So for a team like Ballyboden, who are playing in their first ever final, Erins have the advantage of playing in their third or fourth final. I think it could well be their fourth. It's certainly 3 in a row. They won one in 93. They lost it on a replay in 94. They're back today trying to win it back. They are 10 boys band, entertain the crowd. We may get a few people to talk to, we may not. Face the camera and your thoughts on that one.
Well, Tommy, I think Erins have the edge just at midfield, and I would say Ballyboden are a little bit indecisive, particularly around the middle of the field for going for the ball. But apart from that, I expect Ballyboden to come back into it a little bit stronger in the second half.
Thank you, Frankie. We might take a quick quip from Seamus Brennan. Are you enjoying the final?
I am indeed, and I'm behind Ballyboden today. Thank you.
Okay. Sean, if we could pass you this, you might give us your thoughts on that first half.
An entertaining first half in which Erins seemed to basically have the upper hand for most of the period. However, they didn't take all their chances, missed 2 very good opportunities of scores, and we find that we're going to have a very even second half, and I expect in the end there'll only be 1 or 2 points in this game.
Thank you, Sean McKay. Second half about to get underway with a scoreline of 5 points to 3. And the game is on. Ballyboden St Endas with Paul Curran feeding it to Ken Murray, and Ken lobbing a high ball inside, and there's a shot that's deflected over. A shot from Liam Callan. Tom Quinn got a hand to it. That could be vital.
Oh, that was a great score. Again, the threat from Callan is there to be seen when he's in the full forward position. Went up very well. Maybe a little hint, suspicion of a push in the back, but when the whistle doesn't go, you take your chance, and a fabulous finish. Maybe a little chance of a goal as well, but he was as well to take his point. Only a 1-point game at this stage, Tommy.
So it's 5 points to 4 with just about a half a minute played. The ideal start to the second half for the Southsiders. As the ball is gone up there now to Seamus McCormick, couldn't hold on to it. Philip Wardick picks it up, tackled by Eddie Barron, fouled, and Philip to take the free. That one lobbing in high, and JJ O'Keefe coming out. And JJ playing it back in there now to his captain Ken Pratt on the 1-2 with JJ as this played way up the line. Tony Duffy picks it up, feeds it down. John Kiernan getting it further down. Tony Gorman will go across and tackled by John Kiernan. He feeds it back, but the referee going over there, having a word with the Ballyboden man. The free comes to Keith Barr. A foul on Keith. across to Mick Deegan. Mick then to drill it right through the middle, but Ger Flaherty, equal to it, gets it out to Tony Duffy, and Tony Duffy to send it down close and all over the sideline, close to the line for Philip Wardick. Kieran O'Hare is battling for possession and winning it up in the corner, trying to slip in past John Kearney, succeeds in doing so, then sends it right across. Oh, good feeling back in there by David Naughton. Philip Wardick will now lay it off. Oh, that pass going astray, and Eddie Barr picks it up. In for Keith will take it up, gets it in now to Seamus McCormick. It's well blocked down. Terry Russell comes onto it, lays it back to Podge Cunningham. Up into the corner. And David Naughton. Referee has blown the whistle. There were a lot of stoppages in the first half, and already in the second half, with 3 minutes played, the stoppages have begun. So the referee going to throw the ball up between a bunch of players, and it comes down where Keith Barr gets it. Keith looks, Keith shoots, Keith scores. Erins lead by 6 points to 4.
Again, Tommy, the old experience coming through. Ballyboden had done fabulously well there. The number 2, David Naughton, came out with 2 great balls and then gets knocked down, and Erins regroup, get that ball and score a point when Ballyboden had done some tremendous blocking in that. Mistakes begin to creep in a little bit though into the game. Bad clearances over the sideline and that. So they want to tighten up the distribution of the ball at the minute.
Ger Flaherty's kick out across the middle. Eddie Barr battling for it there. Cannot quite pick it up. It's a free to Ballybodens and Endas, and Tony Duffy has gone down injured. They're playing away out there, but the referee is going across. Tony Duffy sending it down now to Tom Prendergast, lays it off quickly to Brian Steins. Steins trying to slip past Johnny Barr, taps the ball inside. Ken Murray lays it off for Paul Kern, but it didn't run kindly for him. Winning possession, Paul is surrounded. Too many steps from Paul Kern, and the free is quickly taken, and Tony Gorman sends it up. Kieran O'Hare brought to the ground out there. A free to Erins Isle. Kieran O'Hare in need of attention.
Just thinking there, Tommy, that last attack there by Ballyboden, you see Liam Callan again in there ready for that ball. They overplayed the ball, the breakdown, and now Erins have a free here with the potential of getting a score. And now if Isles actually score here, which we say they won't now, but Ballyboden, when they get that possession, they should leave it into Callan. He looks threatening, and why not give the man a ball when he looks in that situation?
Ken Murray to pick it up now for Ballyboden, playing it well down the field. Ken Spratt seemed to get a touch. McDeegan is out there doing some holding. There's a free to Ballyboden St Endas. Stephen O'Shaughnessy is being entrusted with the kick about 40 metres out from the end line. He chips it inside, takes the return and sends it wide. It was laid back to him by Tom Prendergast. That was a chance of a point.
It was a chance of a point, and a bad miss in the circumstances. I may be thinking maybe he should have taken a free. He had kicked a lovely one about the same distance out in the first half. If it had went in between the 2 posts, Ballyboden would only be 1 point behind. There's still 2 points in it. It's still there. It's as it started at the start of the second half. Ballyboden, if they can get the scores when the attacks are setting up, will certainly be not too far away from winning this game.
As Brian Steins picks up possession. drills it right through, and J.J. O'Keefe, I said at the outset that he was small in stature as full-backs go, but he's very, very effective as he gets the ball up the line. And Seamus McCormick, he knows all about defending. Right now he's attacking as he gets the ball into Eddie Barr. Eddie Barr jinking left to right, gets it into Kieran O'Hare. O'Hare being chased by John Kiernan, feeds it back to Terry Russell. A jab kick that goes inside, and a shot from Eddie Barr that's going to go across the cameraman over on the far side and go wide, and it remains 6 points to Erins Isle, 4 points to Ballyboden.
Yes, Tommy, you had called it right, and certainly O'Keefe is given this a great tussle in there. That was a great ball, and it was from an Erins Isle point of view, that wide from Eddie Barr was pretty bad, because it was a great move, probably the best move of the match, and to finish it up in that way, I'm sure O'Keefe back there is not looking too happy at the minute.
Out it comes, and it'll break there for Michael Gardner, who gets it down, and a great tussle also down there between Ken Spratt and Stephen O'Shaughnessy. Ken Spratt to take a line ball for the Erins Isle lads. Into Podge Cunningham, back to Spratt, who sends it up the line. Brian Stein's missing out on it there, but David Naughton is across. Confronted by Albert Martin, a free to Ballyboden St Endas. To Brian Steins. A crossfield ball. Well taken in there by Damien Bulger, but the referee has called up the play. Bulger sends it into Stephen. And a point from Stephen O'Shaughnessy. That was quick thinking from the free.
It was great thinking from the free, and young Bulger, you know, hasn't been in the game much. I think he's a good footballer. He was on the minor Dublin situation on the panel this year, was with the Ballyboden under 21s, and his quick thinking there, a great ball and a great finish by O'Shaughnessy. That's more like it. That's the way to play direct football. Let it in and have a pot for a point. Great score.
For a team in their first ever final, certainly creating the spaces. As Tom Quinn comes out now to place the ball for the kick out. Just over 9 minutes played in the second half, and a point between them with Erins Isle lead 6-5, and Tom Quinn's kick out trying to find Terry Russell, but Terry pushing Tony Duffy in the back. David Naughton playing at left corner back, but that going astray, and Mick Deegan will pick up on the pass out of defence by Tony Gorman, and Mick brought down on halfway. The referee wants a quick word with Philip Wardick. That slightly overhit for Kieran O'Hare, and Gary Colleran going across, playing it out. And now Tony Duffy trying to set Michael Gardner on his way. Gardner being chased out there. His way barred by Keith and Eddie. Out there too was Mick Deegan. A free to Erins Isle, and Mick Deegan will take it. In to Keith Murray, and Mugser lobs it high in. Philip Wardick, and well, somehow it came back to him. And now can Paul Kern get the Ballyboden men attacking? Tom Quinn will take that one, play it out for Ken Spratt. Ken Murray going into challenge. Free out to Erins Isle. Short passing in a swirling wind can be dangerous, Tom.
It certainly can, but certainly, Tommy, the pace of the game is now, it's now a much faster game and not more football being played. Mistakes, certainly, with swirling breeze and that. And it's interesting to see, you know, the breakdowns in play. That last ball that Gardner got up the wing, and there was 3 Erins Isle men on him. There's a lot of effort on both sides. Here's Robbie Boyle out again, and since Gary Colleran moved on him, he's doing a good job. And Robbie Boyle has gone out of the game in the last while. So that might be good signs for Ballyboden.
So twice in this half, the ball going off Robbie out over the sideline. Right now it's Ballyboden's Tony Duffy who brings it out over the sideline, and the kick to be retaken. And Brian Steins holding the shoulder there. Certainly Ballyboden would not want to lose him out of this final. But could that be the end of this Dublin final for Brian Steins? Eddie Barr is taking no chances. He's escorting him over towards the dugout. Now, is Brian Steins going off? We wait and see who may come in as a replacement. Right now, Ken Murray is in possession for Ballyboden St Endas, 3 out. And Liam Callan way back there, deep in his own half of the field, driving a high ball well downfield. A free for a foul on Tom Prendergast, and Stephen O'Shaughnessy will take it. And the substitute going in is John McAllister. So we'll see. Liam Callan will, I'm sure, move to midfield. In fact, has moved to midfield. And we'll see what the reshuffle will be in the Ballyboden attack. Stephen O'Shaughnessy's kick will drop in, out over the end line and go wide.
Well, now this is where Ballyboden will prove the real worth as a team. It's a tragedy for them that Steins has had to go off. Brian has had a fantastic year and it's played great football for Dublin all year long. Against Vincent's when he came off, with nearly the same circumstances, Ballyboden were, I think they were maybe a point down as well, and then they really showed their courage, their grit, and they came out and they won that game. Interesting to see, can they do it again today?
A low kick out that comes out there now, and there's a chance. A chance from Paul Curran that goes a-begging. That was a chance to level up the match.
Well, there was a chance to level it up, but it just shows that Ballyboden will not give up without a fight. They've got through to the first Dublin County final on merit. They're here, the game is there still for the taking, 1 point in it. As I say, a tragedy to lose Steins, but the game goes on and Ballyboden will go to the finish, I'm sure.
As Tom Quinn's kick out comes away outfield, and Ken Murray picks it up, plays it out to Tony Duffy. Duffy feeding it down now to young Damien Bulger. Bulger working his way into space and a left for a shot that seemed to take a touch. Oh, that's well claimed in there. Mick Deegan across to J.J. O'Keefe. O'Keefe upfield. Fine space found by Seamus McCormick. McCormick a low ball up towards Robbie Boyle. And Boyle taking it beautifully. Gary Colleran is after him. Robbie Boyle goes on. He fists it over. Oh, he fists it over the end line. Over the end line down, I was almost going to say over the bar.
Well, and it was a goal chance as well, but significant when there's somebody snapping at your heels, as Gary Cullinan was done there. For all credit to him, he stayed with him. He went that extra yard that many's a defender doesn't go. And at the end of the day, a bad wide for Erins Isle. If that went over, they would have had their tails up.
So halfway through the second half, and just that 1 point between them, as is picked up by Brendan Young. His kick is blocked down and Terry Russell will feed it out again towards Kieran O'Hare. John Kiernan is there. Out now to Tom Prendergast. Across now to Liam Callan. Callan being about to be confronted by a couple of Erins Isle players. A good ball inside there now to the substitute John McAllister. McAllister, oh, a neat interception, but it comes back to him. The shot is going in. It's held by Tom Quinn under the crossbar. Is cleared out to his captain Ken Pratt. Further out to Mick Deegan, and Mick Deegan gets it out to Terry Russell. Back to Mick Deegan. Up now to Keith Barr. Keith Barr being supported by Mick Deegan. Great play there now from Erins Isle. Deegan looks around. He jabs the ball forward, and that's like Albert Martin. It is Albert Martin from a long way out. Sends it out over the end line.
Now Tommy is beginning to warm up, not a great effort again. That ball that Keith Barr got there a minute ago was the first time he touched the ball for the last few minutes. See a substitution there coming in for Erins Isle.
Paul
Campbell I think is coming in.
Paul will probably go in around the full forward spot. Albert Martin looks to be the player who's going off.
And it just shows you the value, Tommy, of sticking with your man. Albert was the first man to kick a point in the game for Erins Isle, and there he is now trotting off. And a defender always feels when a man like him goes off that he's done his job. Great credit to the corner back there, David Nocton for Ballyboden.
As Liam Callan lobs the ball in, there's a foul on John McAllister. There's a free in to Ballyboden St Endas. This one pretty central. It's less than 40 metres out. Tom Prendergast will take it, and this could well level up the match with 18 minutes looming on the clock. Of course, I have to say that Erins Isle have been involved in draws in finals in the last couple of years, and that coming off the upright, that was a close thing.
Oh, very close, but again, Ballyboden have certainly not going to give up without a fight. Young McAllister has come in as a sub, but he's been on their team before. He's picked up a few early balls as he came in. He'll give it everything he can to make up for the loss of Steins. Again, just a width of the post there to put for that ball to go wide, but let's look, Ballyboden will be in there to the finish.
This, a titanic struggle. A free to Erins Isle over there on the far side. McDeegan will take it. One gets the feeling down that whichever team score a goal will go on and win it.
Of course that, yeah, but a lot of games are won in points as well, and what I feel now is the experienced players, the players that don't make mistakes, the players that can grab the game now with the scruff of the neck. If you can churn out a win, Tommy, of 1 point in a game like this is all you need. If the goals happen, they happen.
And here comes Liam Callan with a shot, and they're level.
This game, Liam is certainly getting into that game. I thought maybe he moved out to the middle of the field, that might be a big blow inside. Liam is certainly from the start of this game, although his full-back man O'Keefe was doing good work. Another substitution, Tommy, will hand over.
Andrew Borden is in. So that's the last throw of the dice for Ballyboden. There are 3 substitutes in. Andrew Borden is in now as well. The sides level at 6 points apiece. Tom Quinn with a low kick out. Podge Cunningham trying to work his way upfield. It's a knockdown to Philip Wardick by John Kiernan. Booted out now to Mikey Gardner. Looking at the flags on the dressing rooms down, the wind is blowing downfield with Ballyboden in this second half.
Well, that has me a little bit confused. You look up at that end, because earlier on when I was out there myself with our own team, the play was from right to left. It does seem to be going down into that goal at the minute. Was that Paul Curran there that Ballyboden took off there in that last move? I think it was, and if it is, it's funny how championship.
Here comes Liam Callan with a shot.
And he's over the bar.
And in front. 2 points in the last couple of minutes from Liam Callan. And well, he's certainly coming into it around the middle of the field.
He is, yes, and I remember him very well from the school footballs when he used to play with Ballyboden St Endas or with Ballyrowan against Dunking College, which I was involved with myself. Always a great minor, and I always wonder when he'd make it as a senior. He has had a few runs with the Dublin team, and he certainly is taking. If Ballyboden win today, that man will have a plaque in his honour out in Ballyboden.
So there's a free to Ballyboden down here in front of us. They lead on a scoreline of 7 points to 6. There's just about 9 minutes left in the game. Tom Prendergast is going to take the kick just outside the 45-metre line. It's dropping inside, it's deflected out over the end line and wide, and switches. Robbie Boyle has seemed to move out to centre half forward, and Gary Colleran has come with him. Johnny Barr is at full forward. Philip Wardick has gone back in full back. There's some of the changes made by both sides as Ballyboden lead by a point, and Terry Russell in possession for Erins Isle. Surrounded, ball released. Ken Spratt coming across to jab it outfield now to Keith Murray, onto Tony Gorman, and Tony Gorman to lob it right through towards Johnny Barr. Johnny taking it, laying it off now for Keith, and a free to Erins Isle.
Again, Tommy, it takes the old dog. I was just looking and checking the scores there. That Keith Barr he scored the only point in the second half so far for Erins Isle. If I check my watch, there's 22 minutes gone. So again, here he is when the game is to be won in that key position. The old Craft, the old Fox, you know, and there Erins Isle put another.
And he levels up the match. So it's 7 points apiece. Earlier on, I mentioned that Erins Isle for 2 years running were involved in draws on county final day. Who's to say that there won't be another shot at this one? Just over 7 minutes left. Down on the sideline, all strapped up as Brian Steins, urging on his Ballyboden colleagues. And Eddie Barr winning possession. Under pressure, Pudge Cunningham will chase back, and Pudge picking it up. Caught in two minds, but the referee awards him a free. Pudge Cunningham to take it. Way up the field it goes. That's well held by Terry Russell. Gary Colleran is there. There's a free to Erins Isle. The watch ticking on relentlessly with just about 6 minutes or so left in the game. It's all to play for. Here comes Keith Barr from 45 metres out, swinging to the left, over the end line and wide.
Well, Tommy, under 6 minutes left. Again, it's up to the old experience. It's the guy now that digs out the ball and leads on for a score. Very exciting second half indeed. The standard much higher, and a lot of effort from both teams. A lot of good tactical moves. Fellas picking up their men. I see Gary Calleran following out Robbie Boyle there. You know, although I say no, he's just moved back in full back. But a lot of tactical switches, tactical moves, and they might be the crucial things at the end of the day.
And Pudge Cunningham reading that well, feeding out for Seamus McCormick. McCormick in now to Terry Russell. Russell having a look, jabbing the ball across field, and it's Gary Colleran. He's had a wonderful game, brought down by Johnny Barr, whose name will now be entered into the book of referee Jim Roach.
Just shows Tommy the vote of confidence that they have in Gary Colleran. I know him from the Dublin under-21 scene, and he's been left in there. He was initially moved out on Robbie Boyle. Maybe you'd like a faith that told him to go back on Johnny Barr. That was a great take, a great defensive work from him.
Certainly a strong contender for man of the match.
Oh, certainly. A young fella under 21 there last year. He's going for every ball. He's played it hard, he's played it fair, and he's come in, he's tackled, he's blocked, he's done all he could in the course of this game.
And now Michael Gardner sending the ball down the wing. Ken Spratt knocking it in, but a Stephen O'Shaughnessy picks it up. They're still struggling away in there, and Ken Spratt still after it. It's released to Eddie Barr, and the free taken up the line. Mick Deegan, another free. Just over 4 minutes left. Keith Barr to take it. Lobs it up towards big brother Johnny. But, well, Johnny wasn't there to get it. And Tom Prendergast's kick will come back where Terry Russell picks it up. Lays it out now. But the referee had called up the play. A free to Erins Isle. And I'm sure Keith Barr will want to take it. This over 50 metres out from the Ballyboden St Endas goal. Almost in front of it. It hangs in high and it's gone over. I think it went off the upright, but that was a great kick from Keith.
Oh, that was a fabulous score. But Terry Russell over the last few minutes has picked up 3 or 4 vital balls. He won that one, took a quick free, he was made take it again, called over Keith. And if you look at the scores, the second half is Keith Barr, or Erins Isle 0-3, Keith Barr 0-3. Significant scores.
So here comes Ken Murray right through the middle. He's got players ahead of him calling for the ball. It's into Damien Bulger. He's going through. The shot is in
the field, and I think he is anyway. And Bulger, very, very good underage player. Lovely move through the middle. Who gave him that ball there, Tommy? I forget in the excitement. But a great pass. He sidestepped the man like a veteran and stuck it into the corner of the net. Fabulous score.
A great build-up by Ken Murray it was. Now, can Erins Isle respond to that as Robbie Boyle comes? Robbie Boyle going on into Eddie Barr. He's surrounded and he's grounded and there's a free in. It's 1-7 to 8 points and there's only about 2 minutes left, Dom.
Well, 2 minutes can be long enough time too if people hold their heads. Fabulous though from Ballyboden point of view. Since signs went off, I'm looking at my stopwatch. There's a minute and about 40 seconds left on actual time to play. Now, Erins Isle have to take away and then it becomes the match and the next free out will be very crucial.
So a free in to Erins Isle. This would cut it to 1. If Keith Barr can notch his and Erins Isle's 4th of the second half would be their 9th and all. Eddie Barr a little the worst of the wares. Keith sends it over and well the next possession from the next kick out will be very important.
Yes, and reflecting back very quickly, Tommy, on the injury to Steins. At the time I said that against Vincent the same thing happened and Ballyboden showed the battle. I think that day too young Bulger came in as a sub and kicked a great point, but that was a great goal and for a young head that'll be some memory if Ballyboden come in and win this game.
Eddie Barr is going off. Eddie Barr is going off and Kieran Kelly is coming in. So Kieran Kelly is in the game. For Erins Isle, Eddie Barr gone off injured and Ger Flaherty's kick out to the middle of the field. Well held by big Ken Murray. Lays it in to Philip Wardick. Ball knocked away. And here comes Keith Barr. Keith still in possession. A high ball. There's no Erins Isle man up there at the moment, but Gary Colleran is. And the Ballyboden man gets the free out. Ger Flaherty is coming out to take it. The last few moments of this game, very, very tense.
Oh, very tense. And again, of young stars at both ends. A great take there by Gary Colleran once again. He's played a fantastic second half, done crucial things, as has Liam Callan and as young Bulger there for that goal. Great. But again, Ken Murray there has got some great ball as well for Ballyboden in the second half.
Out to the middle of the field, there comes again. And Tony Gorman for Erins Isle. Booting it up towards Robbie Boyle. A great fielding there by Robbie Boyle, surrounded as he lays it back into Kieran Kelly. Kelly trying to find space. Johnny Barr has gone out to win possession. Erins Isle coming looking for an equaliser. Johnny Barr will drop the ball inside. Seamus McCormick and it's held in there. Well held by Brendan Young. There was a goal chance on for a split second there, Dom, but the game is almost over. We've moved into stoppage time. That's David Nocton. And David Nocton gets it down now to Stephen O'Shaughnessy. Ballyboden trying to hold up the play. That's Paul Beelan actually who's in the game wearing 21.
That's right.
So Paul Beelan.
And that'll be an interesting one for after match review, Tommy. You know, Paul has transferred recently to Ballyboden. I don't know the full ins and outs of it. You could have question marks about eligibility and that, just to make that point. I'm sure Ballyboden would have checked it all out and would know that the situation is quite legal.
So that kick going wide.
32 minutes 11 seconds on my watch. I think we might be looking out here, Tommy, at the new Dublin champions. The whistle might go right now.
It does. St Endas, first time ever in a final. Ballyboden St Endas are champions of Dublin on a scoreline of 1-7 to Erins Isles 9 points.
And Tommy, I make a quick point. I always think of the losers in defeat. Erins Isle have been a tremendous team in Dublin over the last number of years. We've had from Kilmacud many's a battle with them. I'm sure though that they would agree that the better team there won. Ballyboden in the second half showed the battle, they showed the commitment, they showed the drive, they showed the energy, they showed the sheer will to win. And you remember this year, behind the scenes, they haven't got much publicity on it. They happened to win the Dublin League, so now they've won the double. Well done, Ballyboden. Commiserations to Erins Isle, but the cup has gone back to the south of the Liffey, and deservedly so on the day.
So I see some of the Ballyboden players making the win. Over there I see Philip Wardick. Now it's going to be very jammed around here. The cups are up there in the stand. The cup for the Dublin Senior Football Championship trophy alongside Sam Maguire. We'll be surrounded by youngsters here, but we hope to talk to somebody a little later on.
A lot of people would like to say a special word of thanks to the builder for getting the ground ready today. To the groundsman, no Brady, who worked all during the night to get things ready. To our own staff here at Parnell Park, to our new county secretary, John Costello, Noel Hickey, development officer, and Paul Lee, a sincere thanks for getting everything into fine shape for today. To the referee, the linesmen, the umpires, and all the officials for both games today, thank you for making this enjoyable day. To Erins Isle, your third year running in the county final. You've given everything on your club with great pride, great passion. I'd like to thank you for your contribution to a wonderful game of football today. Final. Congratulations. This is very well done. I'm going to put up corner and captain down the line.
See Brian Steins and Philip Ward close by there as John Bailey hands over the cup.
This year, we're up to winning 3 of the 4 trophies available. And we won last year, the one we didn't win this year. So it's been a great success. Best bunch of players I've ever played with, and I'm sure each and every single one of them will echo that. Our mentors, special awards to Frank Rafferty, Jill McAllister, Matt Conway, and Robbie Callahan, our physio, and our manager, Sean Fitzmaurice. Trainer, Endas. He started off about 11 months ago up in the pitch up at Parky Moordew, and he was undecisive about training the team, and he said he trained for 2 or 3 weeks to see what the story was. It's been a nice story and it's not over yet. But be up against if you took as much of the players themselves. And this victory is as much for you as it is for the team. Thanks for everyone going out. Also, I'd just like to thank our sponsors, Ferguson, and in particular Fergus Reid, who backed us and made possible everything we wanted to do this year. Also, special word to Erins. We knew they were the team to beat. They're the team we wanted to emulate all year. They've been there for the last 2 or 3 years, and they've done Dublin proud. And we knew if we were going to win it today, we would have to be possibly the second best team in Dublin. So, 3 cheers for Erins.
Sorry, I was say hello to Ken as well anyway. Face the camera there, Ken. A great run too by you that did on that goal.
Oh, it was just the ground opened up. Shocko won the ball to break off Paul Beelan. He gave it to me in space and I ran in. Damien Budge did all the hard work. He rounded his man and stuck it away perfectly. Damien's a man with a great future. He scored 1-6 in 21 final. 1-1 today. We couldn't ask for more from him.
Thanks, Ken. Enjoy the success. Have been the Ballyboden captain. Ben, we've got a camera here somewhere who will pick you up on it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First time in the final, a wonderful feeling.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful the whole club, not just the team or the panel or the mentors or that. The whole club deserves this, the amount of work they put in over the last 25 years. And especially this year, beaten in the minor final, we won the 21 final, we won the senior league and now we've won the senior championship. It echoes well for the future in Ballyboden.
This is something that's new to you, but Ballyboden seem to be fast learners.
Yeah, well, we get used to it very quick, and something I'd like to get used to very much in the future. I think we owe it to the other 31 teams who started out on the championship, especially Erins, to give Leinster a good old lash this year. So we'll celebrate for 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, and then we give Leinster a good old lash. I think Dublin deserves it.
We wish you the very best, Ben.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I couldn't open the bottle yet.
No, we're not. Sean Fitzmaurice, is that right? Joe Connor was priming. Joe's a great Mayo man, working down there in Cavan town. He was keeping me in touch with things today. Sean, congratulations. It's going to take a while for it all to sink in.
Of course it will, yeah. It's a tremendous occasion. We've been at this for, I suppose, 2 years, 3 years now with this present squad, and young lads coming through, and few lads, today was unbelievable. It'll take weeks when we sober up.
Yeah, well, don't sober for a while, Ken. Enjoy it.
Oh no, we will not.
Sean, I mean.
We have here his wife's from Cavan and the youngster's mother's from Cavan, you know what I mean? Right?
We have here Tommy O'Brien, registrar of the club, Ballyboden St. Endas. It's a great day for your club, Tommy. How do you feel?
Absolutely brilliant. Over the moon. Over the moon. We thought at one stage, we were always confident that we'd do it, but at one stage when we lost a couple of leading players, we thought things were running against us, but they came back. They really fought hard. They fought for everything, and we won it. And it's a great day for our club with over 60 teams. This is only the start.
After winning the league, Tommy, did you think it was possible that you'd come along on today and beat Erins, who are the favourites?
We always felt that we were good, and it all depended on the day, you know. But we were confident leading up to this that we could do it. If we got the right breaks and if the thing worked right, we had no doubt we would win.
So Tommy O'Brien, you're a very, very proud man today.
Absolutely over the moon.
Yeah. Okay, Tommy, thank you. Brian Steins, leading role with the team today, played in midfield. Unfortunately, you got injured. It's a great day for your club, Brian. How do you feel?
Marvellous day for the club, you know. I mean, I wouldn't have started in any other match, but because it was a club team, the lads wanted me to play, so I did it. And I lasted as long as I could into the second half. And then lucky enough, the lads did it for me.
After the win in the league, did you think it was possible that you'd come along today and win the championship to beat the Erins? Some of your old fans out there, the bars and them boys.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be hard. You know, we had a few injury worries going in, but I had faith in the lads that, after winning the league, I knew we were going to give it a shake. If a few things went right for us in the day, I knew we could do it.
Brian Steins, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Paul Beelan, how do you feel? It's a great day for your club, Paul.
I think it's a great day for Ballyboden and all the members and all the players. They've worked very hard for this. I only come on there in the last 15 minutes and I've only played one league game with them. But it was nice to be involved with the club. I've come to the club because I know they're going to be successful, and hopefully we'll go on from here and lift the Leinster.
It's nice to get one up on the bars for a change.
Well, I know the lads quite well, and I know they've done their homework quite well, and I know they put every effort to win this championship match today. But I think we've just worked just as hard, and I think we've got this one up on the bars.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
A quick word from Johnny Wilson. Johnny, a great football man all through the years. You enjoyed this final?
Very much so. And I had a special interest, of course, in it because, as I was telling somebody there a moment ago, Ned Murphy, Gunyana Geotrocra, was the man responsible for the foundation of St. Endas in Rathfarnham. He phoned me 35 years ago and asked me to come over to meet him, and we'd have a drink in Rathfarnham village. And I thought that he was out of his mind, that there was no way funds could be put together to even start it. And that particular club now is so huge that he could never have dreamt it, but I'm sure he's happy in heaven tonight.
And Johnny Wilson, you're happy here in Parnell Park?
Very much so, and I enjoyed the game very much. It was a very good game and very close. It was a near run thing, and I think the goal was the deciding factor, and a good goal it was.
Johnny, thanks a million. Mick Sievers, chairman of Erins Isle. Am I right in that?
That's correct. Yeah.
And Mick, disappointing day for you. It was so close right up until the end, but on the day it just wasn't to be.
Yeah, we're very disappointed. I feel particularly for the lads, for the effort they put in. This is 4 years in the trot now. They've been together and battling away. Second defeat on the trot. I think the lads have the character to come back and to sit down and have a look at what went right and what went wrong. Something has to go wrong if we lost. It's all about finals, winning and losing, and unfortunately we've lost again, but I feel confident enough that we'll sit down and we'll come back next year and maybe the year after. And if I get an opportunity now, we'll thank the players and the panel for tremendous effort, tremendous ambassadorship for the club and for Finglas. Although we've lost, we're very, very proud of them, and they can hold their heads high. We don't feel any disappointment on that score.
Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure, thank you.
Mick Deacon here with me. Mick, 3 finals in a row, or perhaps I should say 5 finals in 3 years, 1 medal out of it. What's the feeling?
Well, it's very disappointed in the Erins Isle dressing room. It's not easy to take defeat, but we'll hold our head up and we'll get on with things, and we'll bounce back next year, please God.
Now, it was always close, it was always tight. I had just said to Dom Twoomey, who was doing analysis for me, that whoever was likely to score a goal was most likely to go on to win the game. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think so. Goals win games, but we had enough chances to win today, and when we were ahead by 2 or 3 points, we didn't put them away, and it's our own fault, and fair play to Ballyboden. They come back and got a goal, and we rallied again, and I think I missed a chance near the end. Great save by the keeper, but you know, we'll have to bounce back from that, but we missed a lot, and fair play to Ballyboden. They won it in the end.
There's always next year, Mick. Thanks for talking to us.
Please God.
Keith Barrow's with me. Keith, I'm sure like the rest of the Erins Isle lads, you're that little bit disappointed, but you're a good side and you will bounce back.
I wouldn't say a little disappointed. We're very disappointed, but I mean, I think if you don't take your chances, and the team that does take its chances are worthy winners. So all congratulations to Ballyboden, deserving at the end of the day. But having said that, we had the chances to win, we didn't take them, and what can you say? Very disappointed.
And I suppose, as well as thinking about a county final, you had a good run when you last were champions in the Leinster Club Championship. You would have had that added experience. How tough is that going to be for Ballyboden?
I think Ballyboden will hold their own in the Leinster Championship. They're a very good side. It's going to be hard. Whoever's in the Leinster Championship, no matter what county they're from and what club they're from, it's going to be very hard. So I think they'll hold their own, and I think they'll do Dublin very proud.
Keith, John Bailey is with me now. John, we were admiring Parnell Park here earlier on today. Tommy Gahan was talking to you, but there was a good county final to be admired as well.
It was probably the biggest crowd ever at a county final in Dublin. I think it's the biggest crowd since 1933. There was 6,800 here today. Particularly important was there was 2,000 or 3,000 children here today from both Erins Isle and Ballyboden, and that's very important because that's the future. And the side next to the game of football played by two sides, a very, very sporting game, very competitive. It was down to the wire. Couldn't go any other way.
Now, the weather was kind to us as well, John.
Well, God's been good to us all along the line. God has been good to us with people giving us donations to get the place up and running. The weather today was very kind. The crowd was great. I think it was a great day for GA. It was a great day for the game. great game for everybody in Dublin, and particularly for people here in Dublin who haven't got the money to go to Croke Park and to other games. They're able to afford to come in here today and come back home. Particularly to come back home to Donecarn, I think is great. We've been here since 1930. There's 65 years here. It's our home, and this is where we continue to be our home.
And that's where home is going to be from now on, John.
Yeah, we brought Sam back here today. I don't know whether you noticed, Sam was up there today. It's 12 years since Sam was here.
I saw Sam.
And the hurlers won today against Meath. So this day, 2 weeks, we'll have Dublin versus Wexford. So hurling and football is thriving in Dublin at both the club and at county level, and that's great for the game.
John Bailey, thanks a million for taking time to talk to us.
Thanks very much, and congratulations to Ballyboden. Very, very well done, and I hope Brian Steins gets better soon. I thought John O'Keefe of Erins was man of the match. I thought he gave an outstanding performance at full-back today.
Thank you, John. With me, Damien. A well-taken goal. It was a well-laid-on ball, but you got great praise from people up there in the stand with me. A young man that's making a mark in Dublin football. It hasn't sunk in yet, I know, but it's going to be a great feeling.
Oh yeah, but it's great. It's actually a great feeling now being in the dressing room with the rest of the lads. We've worked hard for about 14 months, I'd say, and I only came into the team there about past 3 months, and worked very hard with each other. But it was a 28-man there, team performance there today. Just not 15 or 17 on the park, but yeah, the goal as well. Big Ken came charging through the middle of the park, and he just fed it off him. And I think it was the corner back came across him and left the gap open and stuck the ball away. Fairly.
It was well stuck away, right, Damien. You're going to enjoy this success, and the best of luck in Leinster. Thanks, Damien.
Thanks a lot, thanks.
Tony Duffy, a Ballintubberman. Joe O'Connor is raving mad all day about these Mayo men that are playing such a big part. Tony, turn around, face the camera. It's outside. We're inside. Tony, congratulations. Nice to win a Dublin Senior Football Championship medal.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. It hasn't sunk in. I mean, I haven't a clue what's going on here, you know. It'll probably sink in tomorrow, and I'll be over the moon tomorrow, but at the moment, I mean, I don't know what's happening. Don't know whether I'm coming or going. It's absolutely wonderful, you know.
Tomorrow you could be under the weather. The next day you could be over the moon.
That's the plan anyway, to be under the weather tomorrow.
Tony Duffy, enjoy your success.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tom Prendergast is another Ballintubberman, Joe O'Connor tells me. And Tom, my mind goes back to some great Mayo men, particularly Uncle Ray. Tom Prendergast playing your football in Dublin and enjoying it.
It's pretty good, yeah. Well, I mean, a day like today, you know, you have to enjoy it. I mean, they don't come every day, you know. And it's one of the best days of my career so far, and hopefully there'll be a few more.
There was a ticky wind out there.
Well, yeah, it was a bit, like, but it didn't interfere too much with the football. It wasn't that bad. Like, we've often played in worse conditions. You know, you wouldn't complain if you got conditions like that every day. The sod was nice, and, you know, just good to win, basically. All the usual cliches.
When you, along with others, saw Big Ken steamrolling through the middle on that ball, there was only one thing in anybody's mind on the Ballyboden side then.
I guess so. Well, I was on the ground on the flat of my back, so I was just getting up when I saw the ball go into the net, so I missed Big Ken steaming through. But yeah, it was a great feeling when I saw the net shaking. That was what we needed at the time, you know. It really put the seal on the victory.
I'll let you go.
Okay,
those lads want to celebrate along with you.
I reckon so, yeah.
Tom Prendergast. And with me now I've got Brendan Young. Brendan, people are put in to do certain jobs in all games. Today was no exception. Everyone played their part on that Ballyboden team. You have been getting credit for a very important block down there. We'll hear more about it a little later on. It's only about what? It's less than an hour since the final whistle went. It's going to take a couple of days to clear the head, and then another couple for it to sink in. Brendan, your thoughts right now?
A couple of days. It could nearly take a few weeks, I'm telling you. At this moment, like, I just can't believe it. Like, we set out this year to win 4 competitions. We won 3, and the big one was today. The other 2 didn't matter once we won today. But I'm just over the moon at the moment. Can't believe it. I think everybody else is just so relieved. The hard work was done. We knew the work was done. We just had to get a bit of the run of the green today, and luckily we got it there. The last ball that came in, stopped on the goal line. But when you say that's the luck of the draw.
That's the luck of the draw. There were heart-stopping moments, I'd say, for the Ballyboden defence.
You're telling me. There's a couple of times they went through there, and especially the last minute, Ger Flaherty, the keeper, got his legs down to that one. Don't know how he did. There's a couple of other times they came through. They were coming through the middle fairly strong. In the end, we held them out. That's the main thing.
Ballyboden responded to Brian Stein's having to go off. That happened in the semi-final. You really lifted the game when he had to go and played for him, played for Ballyboden. There's going to be great celebrations down on the south side for the second year in a row.
Oh, there's going to be great celebrations for the next week, I'd say. Anyway, we'll have to call the ball in about 2 weeks and get us back together, because it'll take that long to get over this one.
And then
this is our first one, and I tell you, it's not going to be our last one.
Make a big assault on the Leinster Championship.
Well, we're there now, and we're going to give it a go. Crokes did it last year. There's no reason why we can't do it this year. So that's it now. We're going to give the Leinster a go and see what happens after that.
Brendan, thanks. So, from Parnell Park, where light is fading outside, thankfully we're in good light inside. There's somebody else here wants to say a quick word.
No work by Brendan, but it was a great achievement. They did a double this year. But to see Ballyboden, the Rock Farm area, they have juvenile teams coming up, and they looked at this team today, the achievement they created out there against the odds. I have to say Erins now are an experienced team, but these lads done it today, and it's great for the kids out in Heffernan to see all this happening. It's great, encouragement.
It'll fairly pep up Gaelic football. Especially with Dublin being All-Ireland champions as well. So I'll say a special thanks to a few people that helped me out today. Dominic, Twoomey of Kilmacud did analysis for me. Joe O'Connor, a Ballantubber man who's been raving about those Ballantubber lads all day. Tommy Gaughan is also a man. But of course, there were 3 Cavan men involved. Tommy Malloy, Pat Lee, and myself, Tommy Tighe, from Parnell Park, which is Slán agus Bannock.
I'll see you, Brad.